Welcome back, hodlers. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and where the market is going to go, what needs to happen exactly to make this market re-engage. So to do that, of course, we got to look at Bitcoin. I would look at the crypto total market cap, but Bitcoin has the best trading data from start to finish. Eventually that'll change. Eventually we'll transition over the years to more just looking at the total crypto market cap. But there's a lot of crap in the crypto market scene, and it is what it is. Bitcoin is currently sitting at around 33,530. And you can see that we are kind of in the same area that we were back in February of 2021. So it's obvious that, we're kind of in that frustration zone because it feels like all those months that we went through kind of were for nothing. In a lot of ways, they kind of seem to be. But that's not actually the case. Now, we do see that this shape, this formation, a lot of people have been talking about that it's most likely a Wyckoff model. It does look like Wyckoff from what I understand from Wyckoff. So it makes sense that this is, textbook market manipulation from big investors to dump on the little people, which is most likely the case. But we do know at the end of the day, the long-term ROI for Bitcoin usually always holds. Usually if you hold Bitcoin for 5 years, you're going to be in profit. A lot of people bought Bitcoin back in 2017, way up here, way in the 19,000 range. And then it crashed. And then they thought, well, I'm never going to get my money back. Might as well sell for 5K and get something, right? Thinking that it's just a scam. But here we are again, way above that $19,000, and we're going to do this again. This is exactly what happens. Now, at the same token, we also notice that the drop is considerably less than the drop that we've had here. So we know that right now, Bitcoin is still holding. We're not quite out of a bull market. We're just in a little bit of a lull period that we've been discussing. So most likely we'll trade like this for the next couple months until maybe the fall. And it'd be realistic by the time 2020 hits, or 2022, that we will re-engage a bull market and start pumping again. But right now, trading in this level, and we've talked about this before, and even while I was out on vacation, I mentioned this in a video, that as long as we are trading between $32,000 and $42,000, we are in a safe zone. Everything is fine. And we have dipped below. We have tested these levels, and you can see that here numerous times that we have tested, but we did close these candles green, even though they wicked super low. So, it could happen again. And like I said, we could see a sub $27 Bitcoin in the near term. But is that going to be the long term? Well, I don't think so. I think absolutely within the next year, we will probably see a most likely above $100,000 Bitcoin. I don't think that's too grandiose to say, especially considering where Bitcoin can go at this point. The mathematics of Bitcoin is one of the most elegant stores of value that you could ever have in itself, way more so than gold. So eventually, it will eventually hit those crazy numbers. But for now, at least for the next year, let's at least target 100K for our next price target. So some people might look at this chart and kind of consider this a little bit bearish, thinking where we were, thinking where we were just a few months ago and where we are now. And that can be a little hard to take, and I understand that, especially the people that were buying up in this zone. But now's the time to lower your dollar cost average, start getting and start building up some Bitcoin. Now, these are the crypto bull runs for 2013, 2017, and now 2021. Now, if you look at it, now I'm gonna discuss 2013 because some people could say it's an anomaly. There's only one place to go when you're trading at essentially zero, and that is up. Well, of course, it was trading more at like $26 at that point because this is the second part of the double peak. Now, if you do throw the double peak into the mix, obviously it's shot up way more than all the other bull runs, which is exactly what we would expect it to. So let's call this one market cycle, one bull market, which I think most people at this point call this double peak, one bull market. And if you look at the blue, I just want to point out the blue. The blue, you might look at that and be like, okay, well, that might be where we're currently at. No, that is 2017. So obviously, if you see how 2017 worked and how we're currently at, so yellow is currently at our lines, you can see yellow outpaced basically both bull markets, basically both of them. Now, these charts are from the bottom, so, this trading data down here may be not as reliable, but when we look at here, it starts to get a little bit more reliable. Now, we do see for a long while, that 2021 has been pumped well above what 2017 was. We saw that the bull market kind of chilled out for here, kind of re-leveled, but it still fought and still came back up. And you can almost look at it as like how we look at indicators in terms of resistance lines and everything else. It is almost bouncing back off that 2017 bull market correlation. And then we see that it made a huge lift off, and this was due to a lot of the news coming out, everyone buying Bitcoin, Michael Saylor, and everything else. Then we see the dip, and now we see where we're at right now. So the question still stands. What does Bitcoin need to do to continue the bull market? And everyone's saying that, oh, we're going to have a pump in September 2021 and we're going to make it, here this year. I think at this point, we really have to look at this and consider that that's not going to happen. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but, when you're in crypto, you shouldn't be here for the short term, even though I know that this place you can make a lot of money in the short term. That's not the point here. This is transformative technology that's really going to change the financial structure of the world. But if you look at where it is right now, it's far outpaced what it should be compared to what 2013 was and what 2017 was. We should expect it somewhere around this zone, peaking out around somewhere there. Now, of course, peaking out that way brings it more to a $300,000 to $380,000 Bitcoin. And again, this is the logarithmic chart, so you got to remember that when you're looking at this, the numbers are going to increase the longer it goes. So for example here, if we just shot up to 100K and then market peaked, so I did 130 and being, generous here. If we just did that right now in September and got to that point, at that point, that's it. And we would crash and go through. That's what some people think is going to happen. But I think what most likely will happen is we'll more or less just trade level, drop down a little bit, and then finally pump up and finish off our bull market. And it'll look a lot more like how we would see the other bull markets go. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't go further than this, of course, because we do need to realign ourselves and get below 2017 at this point. We can theorize as much as we want, but it's pretty good bet that most likely what's going to happen is we're going to have diminishing returns over time. So less pumps, less dumps, more stable trading over a long period of time. So we could realistically see Bitcoin go down a little bit further just to redrop and kind of lose some of its pace against 2017, and then at that point kind of re-pick back up and everything else. We do know that this whole area, especially here, everything was just way too hot for the space, and we see that with the Wyckoff and everything else. Everyone got basically FOMO'd into Bitcoin and FOMO'd into cryptocurrency, and then once the rug got pulled on them, they just figure exactly what they figured back in 2017. Oh, crypto's a scam, crypto's done. But the reason why even a formation like this happened is because they don't want you to own Bitcoin. They don't want you to have any sort of financial power in the future. So if you do let go of your Bitcoin just because of a little bit of FUD, you really need to take a step back and look at what you're truly investing in. You can't make your decisions based on Elon Musk or some other famous person. At the end of the day, it has to be up to you and your research. But like I said, most likely what we'll see for the crypto market cap is we will most likely see a re-engagement of a bull market. Most likely we will go a little bit lower, maybe into a scary zone for Bitcoin, but I do think that we will re-engage. We're just way too out of pace and need to get back in line for what we would expect for cryptocurrency and for Bitcoin. I hope this video at least helped understand how the crypto market cap is working, how Bitcoin kind of influences that. I know it's hard to look at all the altcoins, especially when, Bitcoin has dropped considerably more than some altcoins. We do know some alts have dropped, but Ethereum, one notably, hasn't lost nearly as much value as, say, Bitcoin has. Same with Cardano, still sitting at around $1.35. So there's still a lot of health in the crypto market. So Bitcoin's not the end-all be-all, but Bitcoin is the best judge on when or not we are going to start a bull market. So that is why we use it. We don't use it to make any predictions on any other prices, just Bitcoin, and that is what it is. Hopefully this video helped. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and of course, happy hodling.